I want you to take a second. Imagine you are a market woman in Port Harcourt, River State. You barely make profit. You barely survive. At the same time, you don't have a choice than go out there and strive. You don't have a shop or a store, but you have a space where you sell. Physically, your job is demanding because you carry your goods by yourself. This is a woman. At the end of the day, you have to pay for the space where you sell. You have to pay the agboro fees. You have to pay the security levy. And sometimes you have to pay again for cleanup. At the end of the day, the same government who provide nothing to you still taxes you. All this on one individual. And if you venture not pay even one of these taxes or these levies, your goods, your physical peace, your emotional peace, your mental peace will be taken away from you. Imagine the torture you go through every day, trying to survive, trying to feed your family, trying to send your kids to school. Now contrast that with another woman from the same family, let's say cousins or siblings. Maybe one is educated, one is not. Or maybe one is more connected to individuals in power and the other is not. Now don't forget about the first woman. Contrast that with the second woman who is in an air-conditioned office, well dressed, with a microphone, waiting to be screened by the Speaker of the House of Assembly in Rivers State. She takes up the mic, and what does she say? A shocker. She claims she has failed to pay taxes since December 2018. And what is her reason? She says she has failed to pay taxes because she has never had a job since 2018. And when quizzed further why she claims she has never had a job, she said yes, she had a job lately, but that was a political job. That was not a formal job.
You've not been paying tax since 2018?
I just wanted to know if she's been exempted from paying tax.
So let's tell us now. Let her tell us.
Like I said before, I'm a politician.
You were what?
I am a politician.
You're a politician?
Yes.
So politicians don't pay tax?
We don't have an office.
Hold on.
So I asked, is there a difference between a formal job and a political job? The audacity, the infinity, the shame, the rage. That's why we are here today. Today on Raginghotmic, we are talking about Mrs. Charity Deemua and the legal daylight robbery of the Nigerian tax system. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are watching me from. If you are just joining or you are enjoying my podcast and you are watching this podcast, encourage me by smashing the like button. Don't only smash the like button, subscribe or follow and then share. Drop your comments. You don't need to agree with me. If you differ or if you feel you don't agree with certain things I say, drop it in the comment section. We can always disagree to agree. The tent on Raginghotmic is so big that everybody is included. Now let's go. Today we are talking about Mrs. Charity Deemua. This is a lady who claimed that she hasn't paid her taxes since 2018, because she hasn't had a formal job. She's been a political appointed individual. So according to her, people who are appointed by the government or who enjoy political positions don't pay taxes because it's not a paid job. Political jobs or political appointees don't have to pay taxes. That is what she claims. This is despite serving as a member of the House of Assembly Service Commission and Caretaker Committee member in 2025. 2025. I didn't say 2020. I didn't say 1996. I said 2025. And she hasn't paid taxes. First of all, am I shocked? No, I'm not. I'm not shocked. Before we go to the talking points, I want to explain something from you. This is the mindset of not just Mrs. Charity. This is why, despite mad and angry at Mrs. Charity, despite my anger But at the same time, I feel bad for her. I sympathize with her. Why do I say so? Because that is the mentality of every Nigerian out there. Every Nigerian out there believes politics is all about looting. That's the mentality. And this is the reason why we don't hold our leaders accountable. This is the reason why Wike or Minister Wike will come and say they had an agreement with Governor Fubara as regards the state allocation. And the individuals, you see individuals saying, yes, after all, is it your money? It's government money. Nigeria is one country where the individuals, where the citizens feel government money should never be accounted for. They feel whenever you see yourself in position of power, you have to loot as much as you can for not just you, but your generation. That is the mentality out there. There is no accountability. I mean, none. That is why a state governor will take state funds, for example, provide buses, state transport buses, and they say donated by the governor. A governor is donating buses for the state's individuals, and they say donated. How does he donate? That is his job. He did not bring that money from his personal money. He brought that money from the coffers of the state. These are taxpayers' funds. That is why a minister or a governor like Wike will claim that he sponsored all the State House of Assembly members. So it's personal. The income doesn't belong to the state. It belongs to Wike himself because he's in power. So when you treat this case in isolation, you end up not doing justice to it. It's not a mentality shared by just Miss Charity Deemua. No. It's a collective mentality. It's a collective reasoning. We all believe taxes are only for the civil servants, the market women, the poorest of the poorest. The rich don't pay taxes. You can't pay taxes from government funds or from government salary because you are looting the money. These people are in positions of power. They loot all the funds. Tell me, is Miss Charity a professional? What does she know? How has she contributed to the state? What does she know? But you see, she will keep getting appointments. Because maybe she's a good mobilizer. Maybe she's a good grassroots mobilizer. She knows how to bring people to vote for a particular candidate. So they will keep patronizing her. They will keep giving her appointments. And keep giving her avenues. It's like a settlement. It's like somebody's giving you, I'm giving you this, loot as much as you can. That is the mentality we have. There's no accountability. And also, it is difficult for these government individuals to pay taxes because they're already looting other people's tax or the taxes other people paid in that particular department. Is it State Primary Education Board? Is it Rural Electrification Board? Is it Water Projects? These are many more. Is it the ADP? These are many more. Those individuals, those directors, those permanent secretaries in those departments loot as much as possible. So why are they paying taxes again? Why? So that the other guy can loot their money. Because they understand the system. No one is accountable. So this is the mentality of Nigerians. So it's not Mrs. Charity Deemua in an isolation. It's a mentality. Government money should never be accounted for. It's more of turn by turn. When it's your turn, you loot as much money and you go home. Why are you telling me to pay taxes? This is a compensation for what I've done for you. This is a compensation for the contribution I made for you. So why should I pay taxes? That is a mentality. Now let me give you the statistics. According to Taiwo Oyedele, who is the chairman or who was the chairman of the Tax Reform Committee, a staggering 96% of Nigeria's personal income tax is currently paid by the low income earners. 96%. So the lowest or the low of the low income earners pay 96% of Nigerian taxes. 96. The wealthy guys pay only 4%. The richest of the richest. The politicians pay only 4%. They don't contribute anything. That is less. Now, let me also tell you, less than 10% of wealthy Nigerians and politicians pay the correct amount of tax. Less than 10. Looking at close to 4. They don't pay. Is it the politicians? Is it the richest business guys? They don't. They evade taxes. Taxes is only meant for the poor. So that is why when you come in public and you say, I pay my taxes, they look at you, oh, your husband is paying taxes, he's a poor man. When somebody say they pay their taxes, it's taxes associated with poverty. It's only those that can't get away from it that end up paying. That's the system. That's the mentality. Politicians see appointments as avenue to loot as much money as possible for their generations, not as jobs. They don't take it. You didn't give them a job. You have give them an avenue to loot. And when they keep looting, they will just be giving you gifts. Oh, you've not given me anything after I gave you this appointment. Oh, sorry, take this 3 million for your son's school fees in Netherlands or for your son's school fees in the UK. That is what you do. Rub my back, I rub your back. That's why they ask you, what are you talking about? Wike's money? Is it your money? This is government money. So government money cannot be accounted for. Government money is meant to be looted for whoever is in position of power. That is the system we see in Nigeria. If a regular citizen wants a passport, a business permit, or a loan, a regular citizen wants a passport, a business permit, or a loan, they must show 3 years of tax clearance. 3 years. That's the law. 3 years. How on earth are politicians getting cleared to run for political positions and offices and appointments made without these politicians paying their fair share of taxes? How? If the assembly wasn't having problem with Fubara, we wouldn't have known about this. This is just a way of them making it clear that they are doing their job. How many state houses of assembly have done this? How many? This is a norm in Nigeria. The top 1% of Nigerians hold 25% of the nation's wealth. Yes. The top 1%. The top 1 out of 100. So if we have 350 million people, 3,500 people, the top 3,500 out of 350 million people hold 25% of Nigeria's wealth. Yet they contribute only 10% to 13% to the GDP. The richest of the richest, the 1% richest that hold up to 25% of all our income, contribute only 10 to 13% to the GDP. So the rest, 87%, is contributed by the poorest of the poorest. 87 to the GDP. So what are they doing with the income? The income is in international banks, Switzerland, UK, US, all the international countries. That's where they put the money. They slash it or they stash it there. You can imagine. In 2023 alone, MBS, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, so UNODC, reported that public officials accepted 721 billion in bribes. In 2023 alone, the public officials in charge of taxes accepted 721 billion. That's 1.26 billion dollars. 721 billion naira. 721 billion naira. 1.26 billion dollars in bribes. This money was never accounted for. This money was never recorded. This money was never audited. This money was never remitted. No, it went missing. Why do you think people love to work for the Inland Revenue Service? How do they get all those cars, all those houses? From your taxes. Or instead of paying 10% to the government, you can just give me 5%. And it's between you and I give you clearance. This is what happens. This is why when they claim they are taxing, even with the new tax system they've just brought, they tax you former, they tax you informer. You pay taxes to the government on revenue, on your salary, or before you even receive salary. You still pay taxes when you want to buy products. Double taxation. But the richest of the richest don't get taxed. The likes of Miss Charity Deemua, they don't get taxed. So you can be angry at Miss Charity all you want. No, I'm calling her out, but at the same time, this is the mentality of Nigerians. It's not just central to only her. No, you can't treat it in isolation. You can't isolate it. It's the full package. It's the mentality. Once you are in government, even the speaker asking that question, you will be surprised he hasn't paid his own taxes. Should we make it public? Let's check his own. Even the speaker saying that he hasn't paid his own taxes. You'll be surprised. You will be surprised if it's checked here. So it's a mentality of those in government. It is. It is. Now, what is my conclusion? Nigeria doesn't have a revenue problem. Rather, Nigeria has an accountability disease. Not a revenue, it's an accountability disease. We are being told to sacrifice, endure, while people like Miss Charity Deemua and the politicians sit under oath and tell us that being a politician is tax-free holiday. They tell us every day to sacrifice. It's like a pregnant woman. For 3 years, we've been pregnant. 3 years of this administration, we've been pregnant. We have not given birth. I don't know when we'll give birth. Yet, politicians and Miss Charity Deemua treat political appointments as tax-free holidays. No need to pay taxes. If you're a politician and you don't have work, then give us back our SUVs. Since political appointments are not jobs, what are you doing with our SUVs? Give us back our wardrobe allowances, and give us back our constituency allowances. Since you don't want to pay taxes, you don't, because you already know when you pay the taxes, those that people collecting the taxes will loot the taxes you are paying. So why pay? Just keep the money to yourself. Why should you pay for government? A government that doesn't think its own member should pay for itself. Why should you? Why should a poor woman in the market pay for? You don't contribute anything to her. You don't. You don't. But you want her to pay taxes. But your own political friends don't pay taxes. Let's do better. Let's do better. If you like what I'm doing, if you like my podcast, smash the like button, subscribe, follow, share. Peace.